good.
Thanks.
Welcome to the Friends and Rivals podcast.
Let's talk Devils and Islanders. Let's talk Penguins and Rangers. But let's not talk about Flyers, because they're a bunch of fucks, which no one can deny.
I guess we have to be back to regular old Friends and Rivals podcast.
Yeah, that's it.
It was a good 2 weeks of cheering for the same team and having the
deleting
same common
all
interest.
remnants remnants of Friends of the USA. Gone.
No, we didn't delete it. We have that. We're gonna need it.
It's gone.
Especially next Olympics and then what they're saying and everything. So I think we're gonna need it. But first, we're not gonna start Four Nations. We are gonna talk about and the legacy of Mike Lange, the former. That's how you say his last name. I'm assuming is Mike Lange.
It's Lange.
Well, I'm assuming people in Canada, I'm sure, called him that. It's just
no, they didn't. He was a Californian.
Yeah, well, see, there you go. He did pass away a couple weeks ago, and it's listen, we're losing a lot of the old guard. Last year we lost Vin Scully. This year we lose Mike Lange. There's a couple of people that were losing retirement, but Al Trautwig out of kind of nowhere. Maybe not out of nowhere. He hasn't really been on MSG, but Al Trautwig was kind of like the MC for the 90s Rangers, Knicks, and Yankees on MSG. So he passed away today at 68 years old. He was only 68.
Too young.
Jesus.
Too young.
Really?
Yeah.
Really. I my dad passed away a couple years ago at 75, and I think that's still too young. And I look up at my retirement and be like, man, I have to retire at 67, then I have only like maybe 8 years if it goes on that same trajectory, which is probably not. I get that. But it just kind of eye-opening a little bit about how little time we actually have. In saying all of that, there was a top 10 Mike Lange calls that I found on the X that I want to share for everybody as kind of tribute for Mike and all the years he has. We have certainly enjoyed all of his Penguins calls. So sit back and listen to the next maybe a little bit under 3 minutes.
Penguins reach in to get that puck. Crosby's pass to Marian Hossa. Stutter steps, goes into the Flyers in. Through people and Flyers scored! Oh, what a play by Hossa! He turns goaltender Moran inside out, and he just lost his liquor license. Still a loose puck picked up by
Ricky. You can't, not throwing a dedication. You can't do that.
Such a Devils fan thing to do.
Well, if he started spelling in the middle of it, I could see that.
Oh, slap me, silly Sydney.
Wow, nice. I like it.
Walks out and shoots. Score! Evgeny Malkin from the right wing circle, and the Penguins take a 1-0 lead. Oh, save my face with a rusty razor.
Oh.
Shooting and scoring, he gets a second goal. Alf Samuelson gets the Penguins their sixth goal. Now he's smiling like a butcher's dog. Shooting, scoring, deflected by Yager, I believe. Yager may have got a stick on it, and the Penguins have taken an early 1-0 lead. Now Murphy and the fans are smiling like a butcher's dog.
But they can't use the same one and back-to-back.
Walker can't put it in. Score! Brown gets the goal. The Penguins get their fourth, and they lead 4-2. Oh, let's go hunt moose on a Harley.
I like it.
Oh, scratch my back with a hammer. Wayne doesn't know whether to cry or wind his watch. Wayne doesn't know whether to cry or wind his watch. Theodore doesn't know whether to cry or wind his watch. Back down to Yager. Fires. His third of the night. The hat trick for Jaromir Yager. And here comes the hat. At the Mellon Arena, ladies and gentlemen, You got it. Elvis has just left the building. You want him on? There he is. Holds it. As he beats Theodore like a rented mule.
Yeah, he did.
Beats Luongo like a rented mule. Marty Spraka beats Tommy Salo. He beat him like a rented mule. 5 seconds to go. Loose around to the far corner. 2 seconds. The Penguins are going to win the Stanley Cup, I believe. Stelio shoots it blocked. The Penguins have won the Stanley Cup. Oh, Lord Stanley, get me the brandy.
There you go.
Oh, no. Don't do that. Oh. Listen, some
we have
classics in there for sure.
Can we have the take from the Penguin fan now?
The take from the Penguin. Yeah, it's definitely a homer call. I never was a Penguin radio listener, so I've only gotten the clips and the highlights like most of the rest of us anyway. But yeah, it's just like a style that is going away. Like, unfortunately, it's just people like that are they're a little more professional these days. There's a little more buttoned up, and personalities like that are going away. Now, having said that, I have to acknowledge it is, like I said, is a homer thing, because there's a hypocrisy here that I have to say. Like, John Sterling does the same shit. I can't stand that fucker. I can't stand John Sterling. It's kind of the same deal, though.
No, it's not kind of. It's exactly
kind
the
of.
same. It's not. There's no kind of in there. You are truly a homer. Welcome.
One of the differences, and I think it's a significant difference, is that John Sterling never knew what the hell was going on in the game. He called shit so wrong. He's clueless. Mike Lange.
Listen, I'm gonna give you that toward the end. Absolutely. Even Sam Rosen, I'm not sure he knows what building he's in some nights. But these guys just, they do it because they've been doing it for so long. It's part of their routine, their life. So they don't want to call it quits and say goodbye to that part of their life. It's just like, a player hanging on too long who doesn't want to retire yet. Jaromir Jagr. It's players like that. So you certainly understand that, but in their heydays, what was wrong with John Sterling? There was nothing wrong with John Sterling in the heyday. He was probably one of the premier baseball announcers in the game. That's all he was. And just like Mike Lange was one of the premier broadcasters of our game.
You definitely heard
these guys go.
You definitely heard the difference between the 90s calls and like the 2010s calls, where like he was really forcing it in the 2010s. It's not like he over exaggerated things in the 2010s versus those calls in the 90s, where it just seemed more natural and authentic and organic.
It was his shtick at that point, probably in the late 2000s, where Crosby was starting to come in and he had to start making things up as like you said, having it come out naturally. So yeah, I agree with you wholeheartedly. In the beginning of those things are great. Then once they're a little forced, that's when you got to find a new shtick.
Right.
Maybe.
Or just keep like at least he kept developing different sayings. Like with Sterling, it's the same thing every time a player hits a home run. Right? He's got his catchphrase for each specific player. With Lange, at least he kind of evolved over the years and changed it around.
Yeah. So look, changing the guard this year. Rest in peace, Mike Lange. It's always sad when those guys leave. Switching gears and talking a little bit about the Four Nations face-off. So who sent the numbers? Was it at 9-something, a 9.5, or did we get into the tens? Or was that North American?
9.25, I think.
9.25. Right? Yeah. That was just the North American or the United States number.
Right.
The North American number was well into the not well into the double digits, but 10, right? 10 point something.
Yeah.
But it had to be more than that. If we're pulling in 9,
more than 1 million.
Yeah, I would have to imagine.
They all went to the same house, so it only counts as one house.
They all went to the same bar.
Right. Yeah.
Igloo. They were in an igloo.
That was for me.
Oh, okay.
It was a bad joke.
I was about to say. But I want to share another thing from the Rich Eisen show today. Maybe it wasn't today. I don't fucking know when the hell it was. But Rich Eisen had Gary Bettman.
You kind of got to know.
What's that?
If you're going to cite something, you should know the exact.
It was today. It was 3 hours ago, so it had to be today.
Okay.
Future here. This is the way it's going to go, where you're going to send NHL players to the Olympics. Obviously, that's happening next, and then the Four Nations would return in the interim. Is that the plan based on what we've just got here?
Actually, as I said, the Four Nations was kind of a quick appetizer. What we're going to do is Olympics, 2 years later a World Cup, 2 years later Olympics, 2 years later a World Cup, and the World Cup will have at least 8 countries participating. And that.
So World Cup, 8 teams participating, and he's going to go on to tell you about if the way the global scales are, basically saying Russia may or may not be there depending upon what's going on with the war. It's basically what he's saying. But this is kind of stuff that we talked a little bit about last week, 2 years on, 2 years off. And it's really how they're going to fill in that odd year. They're going to fill it in with, the All-Star game, or are they going to fill it in with something else?
Would a traditional All-Star game really be that bad if it was every other year?
Yeah. They make it something different. I mean, it doesn't have to be like, it could be just like go back to the standard game. You don't have to do the stupid multiple game thing.
I'm saying East-West All-Stars, 3-period games.
5-on-5.
5-on-5, yes. Traditional All-Star game like we saw in the 90s and 2000s. Just traditional, or 80s and 90s, rather.
You got to make it.
I mean, if you're going to do it, which you shouldn't, but if you're going to do it, at least give us something like that.
And you could do something like, I know, like, does baseball still do that, where like the winner of the All-Star game gets home field advantage in the World Series?
I don't think so. I don't think that's happening anymore.
They used to, yeah.
They should, instead of doing that, how about just put up like a lot of money, like 5 or 10 million, that the winning team gets to donate to charities or something, and just put a big number. That the NHL is going to donate, and then the teams have something to play for, not just the BS, because they can be like, all right, well, you guys got to play because Timmy's going to get he's going to get cancer treatments, otherwise. Betty Sue's gonna get it. So you better.
How about
get your shit together.
One of them plays for a cancer institute, and then one of them plays for cancer? Like, you can really get a good, like, whatever conference the home team is with, they play for a cancer institute. The other conference,
I do not sanction that.
Cancer.
This is great.
I do not sanction that at all, not even a little bit.
What's that?
It doesn't have to be cancer. We can pick any disease.
No, shut up, Gary. Is it red 40?
Are you talking
red
again?
5? What was the dye that causes cancer? Was it red 5 or something?
Red number
5,
yeah, I think it was 5. Yeah.
Yeah, you're playing for red number 5, or you're playing for cancer screenings or cancer treatments. Like, that's it. That's the two things.
Why don't you just come and just represent the cigarette industry?
Yeah.
There you go. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Done.
Marlboro Man versus.
Done. Marlboro. Yeah.
They could each be like, you could have a guy in a Marlboro jersey, got all the different brands.
Camel. The Camel guy's going to be there.
Camel.
Do they wait? They don't have Camel cigarettes anymore, do they? They have to probably. Oh my god, they probably still do.
When does this?
I haven't shopped for
How could you
cigarettes
imagine
in-
a cigarette company going out of business?
Yeah, come on. I mean, not in the U, like in Europe or Africa, Asia, like especially Asia's, cigarettes are just still everywhere. It's not like here where they've just been like, phased out. I'm sure you can find plenty of places, no problem. Camel just killing it, literally killing it.
No filter, fucking Pall Malls just everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
World status
Stop talking,
may have
Gary.
something to do with exactly
Jesus
how we
Christ.
pull that all together. But we're looking to do a full World Cup
Why
like you
does his
see
head
in
shake?
soccer.
Because he's getting older. That's why he's getting
He's
older.
always done it.
America. We'll be looking to do
No,
it in
not
Europe
not
as well.
as pronounced
Yes.
as
So
this.
Four Nations is a
Yes.
one-off.
Look up find a
Well,
hold
bet me
on.
clip from
It depends
98.
on you know what, the success
Hold
has
on.
been so quick and overwhelming.
Yeah.
We've got a lot of things to consider and sort out, including what our own all-star game looks like going forward. So you're asking the absolute right questions,
Thank you.
and I don't have all the
And
right
so are
answers
we.
yet because we've got a lot to work through.
Well,
But
and-
listen, it was all good.
The feedback is great. It just proves that we're all asking the right questions and talking about the right.
Thanks, Gary.
fucking
We
thing.
appreciate that.
We appreciate that.
I mean, to be fair,
To be
To
fair.
be
Do we
fair,
they really don't have to worry about it for 3 years, right?
Sure.
because the Olympics
Olympics-
are set.
Well, 2 years. Next year is the Olympics, and then the year after they got to worry about it. And it's only in Long Island
Yes.
that year, so who really cares?
Ugh.
So
Could they
now,
do
I
something
just-
to where they took the top 4 teams that finish in the Olympics that are in the actual medal games and do a round robin tournament with them as opposed to doing the
No.
All-Star game?
How about we just?
Well, that's how you make that little tournament. That's how your country makes that little tournament instead of having an All-Star game. I'm just
How
not in
about you?
favor
How about
of having East-West anymore.
How about you take the teams 9, 10, 11, 12, and they play, or 8, 9, 10, 11, and they play to be
qualifying?
the 8th team in the World Cup. Some sort of maybe a play-in tournament.
You
Maybe take 7, 8, 9, and 10.
How about
Right?
1
Like
through
in soccer,
4?
you get relegated.
It would get more ratings than the All-Star game. So I'm all for it. Yeah. I'm
Would
all
you
right to
wa-
try that.
Would you watch if it was no Rangers players and USA wasn't involved?
If it was
Probably.
high level, like Olympic style, like you get the best
Yeah.
players in the world to go. It doesn't have to be top 4 teams who are just there. If those 4
Right,
teams
if
get
it's
the
like-
bye, and the next 8 all have to play in, and you could get relegated or not make it, whatever. That's fine. Why not?
Don't give me no
Yes.
fucking India versus Vietnam though. I'm not watching
No.
that hockey game.
Like
It's not happening.
Czechia, Switzerland,
Yeah.
Norway,
Dusseldorf.
Germany,
Yeah, Germany and
Slovakia.
Norway. I love it. I would watch that.
Liechtenstein.
I would watch that.
England
Yes.
might be like 12. They might be the 12.
But-
You might get in England.
But the thing with the 4 nations that made it so, I guess,
If it wasn't
unique.
Canada,
to our
USA,
market?
nobody was watching.
Well, no, because how many people actually watch the Finland-Sweden game at 1:00 on a Saturday afternoon? It probably had higher marks than any All-Star game that we've had in a while.
Oh, sure.
and they were
Well,
watching
games.
in
I-
their homelands for sure.
I'm
Yeah,
talking out of my
droves.
ass again for sure, no
Yeah.
doubt. But it's more appealing and more interesting. When I sat down and watched Sweden-Finland, I was more into that game than the All-Star game or even the skills competition.
Of course.
Oh, yeah.
It's a real game.
1.3 million.
Which is
It's a good
that
number,
does not-
man. For
It
Sweden,
doesn't include
Finland.
the home, their homelands too. Like whatever
Right. That was
Um,
just North America, right?
Yeah.
So not bad. I do like it. But again, the thing that made the 4 nations a little bit unique was that it only involved NHL players. There was nobody from the homeland coming over and playing in that game. Can those teams
No,
field an entire team with just NHL personnel? I don't think they
probably
can.
not.
I don't think so.
And that's what kind of makes it a little iffy. I wouldn't do Canada US because that's going to get old really
Right. That's
fucking quick. Really
yes,
quick.
it is. But then again, there's a chance they don't play each other in the Olympics.
Oh, of
Like
course.
this was a guarantee they're going to play each other.
Yeah. And even in the World Cup, there's no guarantee that they're going to play
Right.
each other either because they might be in different pools. So there's always an opportunity that they might not play each other, especially if one gets knocked out early on. So I agree with all that, and that's what you kind of have to guard against, right? You have to guard against that saturation, or maybe it's not saturation, but it's the same thing over and over again, and which kind of made the All-Star game kind of boring as fuck. We don't want to turn these international games into boring as fuck type of games. Can they be? Is the passion level too high that we don't even have to fucking worry about that?
People
these
still get
players,
up
yeah,
for
I mean-
Yankees, Red Sox, and they play
And it will be
47
even
times
if it's a
each
once a year
season.
thing. It's once every other year tournament where it's the best against the best. I mean, I think no, there's no every player who would even make the roster would be so psyched just to be on the roster. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, I think
they
you're
could
right.
never lose.
I think you're right. I just don't want it to be like, the NBA players not wanting to go to the Olympics. I don't want it to be where the NHL players are starting to do that too.
Well, the Olympics is different though. Olympics is playing. It's the whole Olympic experience. You're playing for a gold medal, an Olympic gold medal. It's not, it's a special thing.
If it's so, if the experience is so different, then why don't some of these superstars in the NBA go and play and represent their country?
NBA is very different, man. I don't think that's like an apples to oranges conversation. You're talking about guys that make $40-50 million a year and play only 60 games in a season. So I don't think we're talking the same thing. And you guys know I was ranting pretty hard in our text about that. That this is not something that is going to matter. The NHL players, they're diving in front of pucks in this free to play tournament effect. They're not getting money for this. They're fighting.
No.
They're beating the shit of each other. They make a fraction. The superstars in our league make a fraction of what the NBA players make, and the guys in the NBA are not the same. Luka Doncic, who's one of the biggest names in the sport for the last few years, and right now gets traded. And the main reason the GM says that they traded him was because they were afraid of his body breaking down because he's basically, fat. That's pretty much it. Okay. Yeah,
Billy's represent.
Guy, okay, they're like
my favorite player.
They're like he doesn't train. He eats like shit, and we're afraid we can't give him we don't want to give him a super max deal. Which, by the way,
I was just a little
like
taller. I was just a little taller.
$380 million for like what 5 years, 6 years? It's insane. And if that's the problem, right? They're too afraid these guys won't do all the things they're going to do to trade them away somewhere else, and whatever. It's not the same conversation. So those guys, I don't even think about the NBA players. Some of them are very dedicated, obviously. Some of those guys would love to be there, and especially the role players who aren't as talented as some of the guys who can eat, a box of Krispy Kreme and go out and just play, put 40 down on next team. But I mean, they're also playing not 82 games, and they're not playing the way that hockey players play. So to me, it's a non-starter, and any of the hockey guys are gonna line up, playing hurt, go get a gold medal, because it only happens every 4 years, and you really have a very, very small window where your team could be really good if you're not Canada or the U.S., because typically those have been the top teams. But I mean, look, you can have a really bad Finland team for a bit, but then one year it's like this is the year of things clicking. They got everybody healthy, everyone's there, and they're all going to want to push and be like, hey, we have to go, and this is our year to win. I mean, look at teams like those guys, like Switzerland's won some games against big names from here and there, and it always happens. We see upsets because hockey is super unpredictable when a goalie gets hot and they just can't beat them.
It's the ultimate team game. Like
it is 100%. So in my eyes, I think it's always the ultimate thing for all the hockey players, and it sucks that we've been without it for so long with the NHL players in it. Like I feel like since 2010, we just which when the four of us were all in the same room together watching that game, and absolutely just glued our set or the TV set.
We were there. We were watching, and then it went to overtime, and then
well, before it got to overtime,
Ryan Miller.
Before it got to overtime, Steve got a text, and we all looked at him and said, "What does it say?" And he looked at it and said, "It didn't try his best not to say it." Yep, that was pretty much what Steve was saying. And so he knew about the goal a few seconds before if I remember correctly, we had to pause the game for someone to get there or something. We had we were behind on a delay for like 5 minutes or something. So we were a little behind, and then we caught it up and watched another game. But we haven't had that experience. We need it. That was When was it? How was the last time all of our wives were in a room watching a hockey game with all of us?
It would have been this past tournament.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And we would have all gotten together Thursday night and watched the game.
100%.
No question about it. And even Lauren was all in. Even the kids were all in watching the game.
Everybody was talking about it, and it's one of those things where like just everything came together, and that's something that should happen at least every 4 years, once a time, at least for the Olympics. But having a World Cup or a Four Nations tournament every other 2 years, you got to have it, man. It's the best time. Nothing else is going on in the sports world. Super Bowl's over. Basketball sucks. So why don't you just have all the focus on hockey there?
Yeah, I like the fact that the NHL now, if nothing else, they have tons of options in front of them about what they can do to draw in more revenue and more eyes on our game. And for that, fucking bravo.
Yeah.
Fucking bravo. One thing that yes, exactly. One thing that did come up in that entire conversation that I've been thinking about, can we field a Fatso team in hockey?
Ooh. Like,
There's only one Phil
original-
Kessel.
Well, right. We Phil Kessel's on the wing and Brodor's in net, but we need to fill those kind of other roles on the team.
We're talking about an
there-
all-time team
Bufflin,
now?
Dustin Bufflin.
like
Dustin
an
Bufflin.
all-time Fatso team.
Hmm.
Dustin Bufflin. Gotta
Ken
be on the back
Danico
end.
can be on
Dun-
defense as well.
I like Dustin Bufflin on the back end. Dustin
Come on,
Bufflin
man.
kind of epitomizes that Fatso tough guy role. I like it.
Such a bad guy.
I like it.
Oh,
So yeah,
man.
Kessel and Brodor
Like,
in
you get
net.
some old timer guys, like
Right.
I want to say like a Gary Roberts, but I don't know, maybe like later in his career or something.
No,
Chelios?
I don't think Gary
Chelly?
Roberts.
No, Shelley was cut up. He looked big.
We have to think about that a little bit. Maybe we'll come back and we'll give you our team next week of five full Fatsos.
I feel like Ovechkin is kind of falling into that a little bit.
He kind of.
He's-
A little bit in his older age. He's kind of
Older
playing
age,
that.
man.
But Jesus Christ.
He's amazing. We don't have that on the agenda.
Steve, what do we got? 13 goals left?
13 goals till 895. Thanks to that hat trick.
Oh boy,
That's
it's
it.
like 20-something games to go too. He's got, I think, 20.
All right. He gets the record. They lose in the Eastern Conference final this year. Does he come back next year? Or is he done?
He's UFA, right? This is the end of the contract.
I don't
That's a good
know.
question.
Hang on.
I'll look it up really quick.
Yeah.
I don't remember.
But he's already got his cup. I think he's waiting for his record. Then he's gonna.
He's got
one more year. I'd say he plays out the contract.
You think
That's
he plays
always-
out the contract?
Yeah.
Even if he gets the record, then next year, and he announces it before the season.
So it's a farewell tour.
It's a little
Yeah,
victory.
and
a little
he
victory
can get
lap
over
there.
900. He'll be the only guy to ever go over 900.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Okay. As long as there's
Or he
motivation there.
sticks around to get 1,000, like I predicted.
I mean,
He just scored a hat trick last night.
Stick around,
it's
yeah.
not like
No,
he's-
I know. And he's having a great season. He always has a great season. I don't know. I think he's done after this year. I don't think he's got anything. He didn't have anything to prove coming into this year. I think he just wanted the record.
He can go play in the KHL and make twice as much as he's making now, tax free.
Yeah.
Except I don't think they like him over there now.
Man, that Dustin Bufflin call, Nick, that was solid. I wasn't even thinking of Dustin Bufflin.
First guy came out of my head. First one.
Really? Before Phil Kessel?
Yeah. Buff. Come on, man. That guy was always. That was his whole thing. They were like, if he was like skinnier, he'd probably have been like all-star. He like ate himself to wherever he went to in the end.
I'm talking. You're making you're playing ice hockey for old school NES, and you got the skinny
right.
guy, the medium guy, and the fat guy. You're going out there with 4 fat guys. Who are they? That's who I want to know.
Ice
All right.
hockey.
Phil Kessel, Dustin Bufflin, Marty Brodeur. We only got a couple holes to fill. Only a couple, so we're good to go there.
In the original game, it was only 4 players. It was
There's only 4 players. Yes.
3 and 3 and a goalie. So you really need like just one more guy.
No, there was 4 guys out there. It wasn't 3.
Wasn't 3 on 3?
I thought it was
3 on
4.
3 is not real hockey. Nobody would ever play 3 on 3. That's just ludicrous thinking.
No, I think you're right. I think it was 4 and 4. It was 4 and 4. You're right.
Are you guys at all surprised that there was almost zero activity in that whole 2 weeks of making any type of deals?
No.
I thought at the end, the last 4 or 5 days, there might have been something to get somebody in there for the start of reset or something like that, but nothing.
Nada.
I don't think it's nice to do. Some guys, and on a tropical island,
On vacation.
getting away from the rink, and you tell him he's got to be he's been traded. I think it's just.
Okay,
I think there should be a freeze. I think there should be a freeze.
So you're going to tell him in the next 2 weeks anyway?
Yeah, let him enjoy his fucking vacation though.
They could talk.
Like that.
The GMs could talk, but they could just be like, "There's nothing can be processed."
No, just don't put the deal in place till after the freeze is lifted.
Yeah. That way they can do what they want to do, because the GMs can talk if they want, but the players are all, like you said, they're all on vacation that aren't playing in the tournament or just home with family, whatever they're doing. So
there weren't games the day after, so there's a built-in travel day. If anybody does they can get traded then and then make arrangements to get to their new team.
Yeah, you're right. And look, coming out of the break and through the weekend's games, the Bourbon Watch Billy is still in the lead at 55 points with the Penguin. Icelanders 57 points.
Get out of here.
I'm not going shopping just yet, my friend.
You could.
And Rangers at 60 points. After some games this weekend, I don't know. I can't for my life. I mean, everybody but Steve. We're all sellers. We're all sellers this year.
Gotta be
But
right.
you get nothing.
You lose. Well, no, we're gonna
for yourself.
No, we are going to
trade.
Get plenty
difference.
You're going to get all of our shit players. Remember Michael Grabner? You remember that trade? You want another one? What do you want?
Your face explodes.
But Steve, I mean, what are you looking for? You're looking for money?
I'm looking for a scoring winger.
Well, okay.
And maybe a depth defenseman, although I don't really think that they absolutely need that right now. Maybe a little more toughness in the bottom 6.
You can definitely always get a veteran presence on defense as that.
Yeah, it would definitely help.
Guy.
It would definitely help, but it's not. It's a scoring winger, absolutely 100%. They need at least one more guy that can put the puck in the net reliably, and they need some more bottom 6 toughness. Hard to play against kind of guy.
Brock Nelson.
Okay.
Ready, wrapped in a bow.
I think the Islanders are really going to be the one-stop shop. I think they're going to bring Palmieri back, and I wouldn't be surprised if Brock Nelson winds up a Devil.
A retread.
I mean, it makes sense, at least for trading Brock. I mean, I don't see it. I don't see what you can do here, other than selling him. He can always come back. They can re-sign him in the offseason, but get something for him. It doesn't make any sense to hold on to him. I get worried because Lou wants to, bring him back, and it's like, just don't. Just move on.
Lou's not a good seller.
The salary cap is obviously a huge issue right now, though. So they just put Siegenthaler on long-term injured reserve, so that freed up some space. But they only have about $5 million in cap space.
That was all for him falling into the boards in Pittsburgh.
Yeah,
Siegenthaler. Wow,
you fucking jinxed him.
Wow, that's what we do. That was our main goal when we went there, was to put a hex on the entire Devils organization. I think we've done a good job. We've done a good job, Bill.
We injured Siegenthaler. We rendered Jack Hughes useless in the Four Nations tournament.
Well, listen. All right, so I'm sure Hughes is getting a fucking earful from his fans and from the media. Adam Fox is getting fucking ripped to shreds. I'm sure Brock Nelson's not in a lot of people's favor after that tournament either. So we all got a guy in there that totally sucked in these fucking tournament.
Yeah. I mean,
Dick Cheese's guy was the captain of the winning team.
Yeah.
Fuck him.
Yeah. I watched as much as I could watch.
Dick
You know, I
Cheese?
looked for Nelson when he was out there. He was outclassed the whole time he was out there. I mean, he was mostly pinned in the final game. They tried moving them around until they were trying to move the lines up around without Kachuk, and as soon as Kachuk went out, that was rough.
Yeah.
The U.S. just had that massive first line, just to Kachuk's and Matthews. Man, loved it, but short-lived, right? So anyway, Nelson just looked like he was a step behind. He was just struggling. He could not. I don't know. It wasn't like he was missing his assignments, but he looked slow out there compared to.
He looked very slow.
Number of guys out there this is the best of the best, so you got to be ready. But yeah, he wasn't up for that challenge. I'll be honest.
No, I think Nelson and Fox looked considerably slow, and Fox couldn't handle the larger guys and their speed. And it's again, we always say this about Jack. He fell probably 7 times in one game.
Yeah.
It's how do you keep him on his feet?
At least. There's no way. So I put a comment on Twix. I'm not sure if his brain is too quick for his feet or his feet are too quick for his brain. There's a disconnect from top to bottom.
Yeah.
That's causing him to just wipe out without anybody around him. Either he's trying to do something that his body's just not moving fast enough to do, or his feet are trying to move too quick for his brain to think where he's going to pass the puck.
He plays the game at such a high rate of speed. Why doesn't he just slow the fuck down?
This is
Even
why
if he slowed down, he would be so much faster than everybody else still.
An all-star game is exactly what I wish he could get experience with, being around a guy like Sidney Crosby. Because if he could watch Sidney Crosby and see how his body, like Jack needs to fill out from the waist down. He's just too frail from the waist down. He needs to see Sidney Crosby and be like, wow, look at how he works. He must work out his legs every day to be so stable on the puck when a defender comes up and it can't knock him off.
When the fuck did John Davidson come in here and start analyzing Jack Hughes, by the way? Jesus Christ.
Pierre Maguire over here? Jesus, like his legs. Holy smokes. He must work out.
Let me tell you guys something about the athlete.
Sid only helps Canadian players, but
right.
Nice try.
I don't know. I think Jack's frame is too small. He's
that's what I'm saying.
Obviously, doesn't have the same size as Crosby. I don't think you can develop size though.
Sure, you can. Of course, you can. You can. You don't think you can put on fucking muscle?
I do.
Or weight?
I do.
Look,
I do.
You could put on weight. Trust me.
I do. Trust me. I know, because for a long time I couldn't, and then all of a sudden I can't lose it. So you can for sure in the upper part of your body. Yes, the lower part of your body is a lot harder. And those some guys
just have to work out. You just got to do squats. Do a lot of squats. Drink some protein shakes. You're on your way.
He's gotten.
But you know what? But what happens when you do squats? It slows you down.
No.
So I don't think he's doing that much.
Who told you that?
Talking about.
Go ahead.
He's like a person that's naturally smart in school, right? And they just don't have to do any work. They just do well on tests until they get to college. And a lot of them are like, wow, for the first time in my life, I've got to do work. I've got to study before a test. I've got to pay more attention in class. He's gotten this far in his hockey career on natural ability. And now the players, he's not playing in an age group anymore like he did his whole life. Now he's playing against guys 10 years older than him. And that's he's just got to learn how to play against those kinds of players.
Hmm. How many years has he been in the league now?
5.
If he 5 years, 5 years. Come on,
No,
it's been 5 years already.
it's been 5 years and he's gotten by just fine so far. So if he ever decides to put the work in, watch
Yeah.
it.
Oh, I hope he does. I hope.
Me too.
But everybody's going to be selling, and just the level of your sell, I
Nope.
think, is going to be what's going to
everybody.
what.
Not everybody.
Well, for the rest of us, it's going to be what level of sale are we going to be? Are we clearing out all RFAs and free agents, or are we going maybe something a little bit more deeper than that? And I think with the Rangers, it's going to be a little bit more deeper than that. I think with the Penguins, it's going to be whoever's a free agent is gone. I don't think they're going to make any core moves. Let's just say that. And the Islanders with Lou, who the fuck knows?
Lou's going to buy. Lou's a buy.
We don't know.
Lou's a
But
buy.
how do you buy at this point? How do you
'Cause
buy
he's
right
Lou.
now? You
Can't.
can't.
He's
He's
Lou.
As
Lou.
an Islander,
There's nothing
as
to
an Islander
buy.
GM, you can't. You can't.
No, I
Can't do it.
I
He's not a good
100%
seller.
agree. But we know Lou can't help himself. I mean, unless
resist.
the owner steps in and says
Yeah.
sell, which he should because he's the fucking owner. But it hasn't happened. And for as far as here's the deal. I know our segment's coming up, but I'm hoping to God that the Isles don't do well in the next few games, because if they do and they have this false sense of hope all of a sudden, it's just going to fuel Lou to do the same shit again. And I just don't see it. I don't see how it's going to help him.
But it's Lou, so who knows?
That's right.
All right.
That's right.
Let's go and take a ride on the Metro. And we, as mentioned earlier on, because of his position, we are going to start with William Fougere.
We're still riding the Metro. We're almost at our Type 45 as it is.
Yeah.
Uh,
Make it quick.
Yeah, well, we have.
Yeah,
Listen,
well,
there's a lot
it's
to
the
talk
Penguins.
about.
We'll make it quick with the fucking
Go ahead.
Penguins, because they came back from the break and they got their asses pounded. Thank you.
No,
Yeah.
he just started.
Oh,
You can't do that.
The Capitals just ripped their tits off the other night on the day back from the Four Nations tournament. 8
At least it
goals,
wasn't
but
the
you know what?
Sabres.
Well, you know who didn't score? Ovechkin. We did not let him score.
Ooh.
That's right. That's right. They scored 8, but we didn't let Ovi get any closer to the record. And just after that shellacking, they went to play the Rangers. It was a weird game because they looked like the better team for a lot of it. But
Rangers didn't
not
have a
much.
shot for
I
over
guess
20 minutes of gameplay. So yes,
as simply as you
Penguins
could put
were
it,
by far the better ones.
as simply as you can put it, the Penguins lost that game between the pipes. There's no question about it. Blomqvist was not good, and Shesterkin was good, and they lost a game that they probably should have won. So there you go, and that brings you up to speed. They're terrible. Let's sell, baby. Let's sell.
Nick, Icelanders.
Sell. That's it.
That's it. Nothing more. Wow. All right.
No, let's keep this one short. Sell. That's it. Just fucking sell, Lou. You get this message. Sell. 2 weeks from now, sell. Do not fucking buy. Don't fucking do
Lou
it.
absolutely has a flip
Put
phone.
the fucking. I know. I'm gonna find out that I'm gonna start texting him, sending him in little emojis in characters.
Lou is
like,
playing
Don't
Snake right.
fucking buy.
on his flip
Yeah, no. Yeah, it's probably
Should,
right.
should I
So,
stalk him at that restaurant where I saw him a few weeks ago? Maybe I should just wait there to see him turn up again. I didn't see what kind of phone he had either.
Rotary.
Yeah.
I'll have to ask for something sharper than the butter knife in case he comes by.
You really want me to talk about the Islanders? I really don't want to talk.
No, I mean, if you're, I was giving your time. I didn't know if you were.
I know. We had one game this week. Yesterday, I was watching and basically messing around on my computer at the same time. So I was watching one screen, and it was typical Isles. They were going to go down a goal, immediately score. They're happened twice. They were, quickly rebounding on just shitty goals, kind of like though. It was a weird game against who we play?
Stars.
Dallas.
Yeah, it was Stars. Yeah, this was a very winnable game, and then all of a sudden, second period, KCZ gets a. In my view, I did not think it was warranted a 5-minute major. Basically
Wasn't
coming
warranted.
down,
I agree with that.
and just he couldn't have done anything. Watching the play, he just sized him up, but the guy turns right into him. He's like a 6'3" dude, and he catches a shoulder right to the face, but he's leaning in, he's turning into Casey. I'm like, Casey his feet never move. He just positionally went right into him. They give him 5-minute major. There's a instigator on the other side of the fence, so ends up being 2 minutes of 4-on-4, and then a 3-minute major, basically. And Robertson scores almost immediately as soon as they get the power play, and then scores a second time on the major, which really sucked because it was a really close game. And Isles didn't suck it in pretty good. They were able to get another goal late in the third from Duclair, and then they just couldn't get a goal. They had a late power play, didn't get it. They even pulled the goalie while that was happening. It didn't work out. But they did have one goal taken off the board during that third period that also should definitely have been a goal. It was one of those really questionable, goalie interference goals where, I don't even know. I forget who it was that was in front, but it didn't even look like he touched the goalie. It was like as minuscule of a touch, if possible. And it looked like he actually ran to the defender, pushed the defender into the goalie, if anything. But it was so minuscule, had, in my opinion, no effect on the goal. That was more egregious to me that they took that goal off than the 5-minute major, because hits the head almost always go in the favor of the guy getting hit. I feel like, so unless you're Toronto or some Canadian team, but in our case it didn't happen. So I always get fucked by the refs. In my view, in that game, I thought Dallas didn't look that great. I always played pretty well, but like Dallas is one of the best teams in the league, and they should have lost that game, or we should at least got to overtime. If it wasn't for the two major the major penalty, which resulted in 2 goals, and then obviously the goal off the Isles board. So that's kind of the nutshell of the game with the Isles this week. Coming up, they got Rangers tomorrow, which is a big game, obviously. Rangers at home, which is going to be fun to watch. Hopefully, I don't think either of us want to win.
No, it's in Long Island.
I said home. Did I say home?
I thought you said home at the Rangers. I thought you said home at the Rangers. Sorry.
Maybe
you just misspoke.
Yeah. Anyway, home against the Rangers. Boston on Thursday in Boston. Home against the Predators on Saturday. So it's 3 games this week, and then the last 2 before next week before the trade deadline is Rangers on Monday in Manhattan, and then Tuesday against the Winnipeg Jets at home. So it's a tough schedule. You got 4 games out of those 5 that are good teams. I think Boston's like I would still put them in a good team category. They're not like what they used to be, but they're still fighting for playoffs. They're like the Rangers, a little ahead of us, obviously. And Nashville's terrible, but Winnipeg is obviously really good, and they could lose 4 or 5 games here. But I'm sure they'll win 4 out of 5, and Lou will just go and break the bank on Friday and drive me insane because I'll have to be watching the goddamn ticker go and see us pick up somebody for a first-round pick and lose my fucking mind, which I hope I don't have to do. But them's the break sometimes. It's how the cookie crumbles.
Friday, baby. A week from Friday, baby. We will know what happened. And look, you're defending President Trophy winning and Metro Division champions are on the ropes, and they are a hurting bunch. They came back from the break and absolutely got dismantled by fucking Lindy Ruff's team again.
This is going great.
It really is not. I just
Where's the ice
listen. There are some times where teams have your numbers, and apparently Buffalo has ours. It has to make me think that Lindy Ruff listens to our podcast. He has
to the tune of 2 games combined score 14-3.
Yeah, excellent. And as Bill, the next day they go into Pittsburgh, and they were getting severely outplayed. They looked so uninterested in playing hockey, especially late in the first period and the majority of the second period, where they did not have a shot on goal. And I'm going to say that again. They did not have a shot on goal. After the second period, I think the shots were like 22-8 or something like that. They mustered up 3 shots on goal to close out the second period somehow. But somehow they pulled this game out and they beat the Penguins 5-3.
Jeez, how the hell did that happen?
I don't know. But listen, you got winnable games coming up this week, and not a lot of them, right? You got the Icelanders tomorrow night on Long Island, and then Friday night you have the Toronto Maple Leafs at home, which kind of starts a getting into next week. Kind of gets a little crazy with the schedule because you play a game Friday night, then you have a game Sunday night, and then you have that starts your 3 and 4. So, 5 and 7 coming up at the end of this week. So take the time and rest to get back on the horse tomorrow night against the Islanders. But I want to talk something into existence, if you will. And I subtly did it already earlier on in the course of the year. But if Chris Drury, and Chris, this is right to you. I'm looking right in your eyes, right in your soul. If you are really, really serious about rebuilding and retuning this team, then you trade Artemi Panarin to the Washington Capitals. No. You get a good country man in Alex Ovechkin, and now you're just going to keep feeding him the puck. And who knows, that could lead you to the Stanley Cup this year with Artemi Panarin in that lineup and that offensive threat. And all we want in return is Brian Leonard. That's it. All we want is Ryan Leonard. That's it.
They suck.
No problem. You're trading away a prize piece for the future for right now for a Stanley Cup opportunity this year with Artemi Panarin.
So you get
it.
nothing. You lose.
Go get it.
Good day, sir.
What? Listen, when one of these things actually happen, I'm just going to be, I told you so.
Can't stop this man fantasizing about lineup changes with this team. It just
I'm just listen, if you make that move, you don't, I don't think they had to worry really about salary and the cap because of the way it's going up. I didn't think they had to worry about that. But you don't have to worry about that because that's $11 million off. So even if you retain 25% of that salary, you're still in a great position.
And your vagina be too wet. 100%.
Yeah, mine right now just talking about this. And not only are you getting Gabe Perreault next year, you're also getting Leonard to play with them where they excelled on the national stage and at the collegiate level. And you're setting yourself up for the future. That's a future I'd want to watch.
Can we give you Walker McGroarty that everybody was so high on?
No.
You want him? And he's just there? No.
But you know what?
Like
This is a chance that I would 100% take. 100%.
You using the whole fist, Doc?
Just relax.
I am. And I think the trade is fair, by the way. So
sure. Of course you do. Of course
I do.
Speaking of games that a team lost that they had no right losing, well, not no right losing, but the Devils played the Stars very tough, similar to the way the Islanders did. And just Casey DeSmith absolutely won that game for them. Even the players who normally don't sugarcoat things when they lose said that it was a solid effort. The last time the Devils beat the Stars in New Jersey was in 2018. That's getting to be a long time ago now. Even with COVID, that's 6 years.
Don't try to
ago.
bring up stats like that with this group. Trust me. I've talk about how long they hadn't won in Chicago, the Penguins. Everybody just shit
one
on
time a
them for that.
year, though. I mean, that's all right. I mean, and a quarter of that was
I'm with you
because of COVID.
I'm with you.
Nemec was in this game for the aforementioned Siegenthaler, who we mentioned was on shifted to LTIR. Didn't look good again. He really needs to get his shit together if he's gonna either make any impact this season or not be traded away. He's definitely a potential trade chip that I think they could move before the deadline. They followed that up last night with a win at Nashville. Boy, does Nashville suck.
Terrible.
5-0 win to begin. This is the first game of a 5-game road trip. Seamus Casey got into this game in place of Nemec and scored his 4th goal of the season. He's only played in 9 games and he's got 4 goals. Dawes with his first NHL career shutout. So everybody at the Friends of Rivals podcast would like to congratulate Nico Dawes. 9 different players with a point. 9 different players registered a point. This was only their 2nd win this season in the second half of a back-to-back. They're now 2-6-2. So we've got a game at Colorado Wednesday, at Utah Saturday, at Vegas Sunday. That's gonna. They're telling me I gotta go.
I really if we didn't have sounds, how did we live on this podcast without sounds? Unbelievable. All right, Billy. This is your moment.
This is the morning bell.
All right. Well, this is the finale. It's kind of bittersweet. Well,
oh my God. I can't make a decision.
You of course you can't make a decision. You haven't seen the information yet.
I know who the finalists are. I voted for them.
You can't go into it with a preconceived idea. You're like a juror at this point. You've got to go in.
That's why I changed it up. I went deep. I did a lot of research this week. They each got more slides than, and it's still not coming up. Hello, come on.
Using the whole fist on.
Just relax.
Here we go.
It's
time for the finals.
That's for sure.
It is Stacy Keebler against Sydney Smith, the former wrestler against the former D1 gymnast.
Can your vagina be too wet? 100%. And here's how.
So we are going to start with Stacy. We've got obviously this slide, but there's
obviously this slide. Obviously this slide.
Tell me more, Bill.
In your face, it explodes.
I don't know what to say. I'm a little tongue-tied myself. Well, let's not spend too much time on each slide because like in the past, we just did one slide at a time.
Wait, slow down.
We've got
easy. You're going too fast. You're going way too fast. That's sheet one. That's a good one.
It's very relaxing.
It really is.
Yeah, I was looking.
Are we
for
supposed to be in?
Looking for something with a wah-wah pedal, I think.
Now coming to the stage. These are all really good photographs. The
God bless the photographers at FHM and Maxim.
Wow,
probably, yeah, I would say so.
Yeah.
All right. We could always come back if you need to see,
Again, you're going too fast. Slow down. That is, yeah, that's she's
Veronica Vaughn.
With the hole and the tear in the black shirt, she's naughty. I like that.
Didn't even notice that.
Oh gosh,
really? She's naughty.
You can get somebody to mend that.
Yeah, or just tear it more. What?
So I don't know. Do we want to move on to the next person yet?
Sure.
Okay, that's great. All right. Now,
Again,
she
you're
doesn't have
going
that kind
too
of professional
fast.
photography.
This is a repeat slide. We've definitely seen this slide before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. We just want to kind of cleanse our palate there and see what we got going on here. Right. And but wait, there's more.
Whoa. Oh man, that under boob shot it's always appealing. The under boob.
I suck.
No. Well, yeah, I would. Yes, very much so. I might even get a pass on that.
Oh, thank you for that. That was funny.
Like gymnasts don't typically have that rack.
Yeah,
it's usually a little bit more.
Stop whining.
Got to be even more challenging to do all those balancing things, right?
I agree. Imagine like doing uneven bars and those things
I don't
getting
think
away.
so. I think in some of these moves you want to get your top half going a little bit quicker, and the added weight is more momentum.
You know how I know you're gay?
Whoa, this is
It's new information.
Who the hell's sleeping during this? All right. I think I'm ready.
You ready?
No, I mean I'm ready.
Yeah.
You want to see?
Oh boy.
And this is the final. This is what it's all about. All these weeks of research.
I'm going first.
Hard research and work.
I really thought this was going to be just like a cakewalk, like this whole thing when you originally proposed this. But whoa.
I am voting first.
Go for it.
I am voting for Stacy Giebler.
Nice. All right, I'm gonna go second and make Tom the ultimate decider here. I am going to go with Sydney Smith.
It's all right, Tom. It's all up to you.
All on you, buddy.
Well, listen, I had a piece of paper in my pocket. I wrote down this morning who I was picking.
Ew. I don't want to.
And I had that in my pocket all day. It got really warm. It got a little wet. But
Did you eat it?
No, didn't eat it. Smelt it a couple of times, but that was about it.
God. Yeah.
And it said Stacy Smith, no matter what.
Oh no!
Well done.
No,
You're fucking.
We can't have it.
You're Kevin Costner.
Even though I did say Stacy Smith, I did mean Sydney Smith. So Sydney Smith is my vote.
Well, there
Sydney
you
Smith
have it.
There you go.
I mean,
And it's all over. And wow, that's an amazing. It's been an amazing contest, amazing few weeks of this. And I just wanted to say thanks to some of our contestants that didn't make it along the way. So just a real quick,
wait,
contestants like.
Can we zoom? I can't zoom here. No, that's not enough.
I don't know about zooming now.
All right. I was trying to see something. Never mind.
And who also had like a new video come out this weekend. So I just wanted to, grab some snaps from the new video. Go check it out. And yeah, I didn't do this for anybody else. So. It was just those two more slides.
Oh, shit.
Well, listen, Bill, fucking bravo to you for putting this all together.
Run it back, babe. Let's do it again next week. Start over.
It was very hard.
I had a thought for next week, and we could do a similar contest, but with the best electric guitars. Huh? Yeah.
Feel like
all right, so next week we're going to start our dive into What franchise had the best power play unit of all time? Now, if you have players that have played on multiple teams, the deciding factor is games played, not points, but games played with that franchise. So we're looking for longevity. So obviously, if you wanted Gretzky as a Blue, you can't have him. He's going to be an Oiler. And if there's any question about where a player sits, games played is the determining factor. So, do we want to? I mean, there's some teams that I don't think the Ducks are a team that can qualify even in the top 10. I don't think like the Coyotes are a team that in their history could field a team. So we'll come up with a bunch of teams. Maybe we'll do like 15 of them, or even 10, maybe for that matter. That would do the top 10 franchises, including we'll start off with our 4, and then we'll take it from there. And we'll start with maybe we'll just do it alphabetical order. It might be the easiest thing to do. So we'll pick about 10 teams. It's going to be difficult. It's going to be real hard. But there's some teams that are going to be really, really good. Really fucking good. So I know everybody was really excited about the Billy thing, but this one is probably going to be better.
You're telling these little stories. Here's a good idea. Have a point.
You finally got this one?
So
Good
much
job,
more
buddy.
interesting for the listener.
Nick, did you have a question?
Is all times like the best possible
All
of all the
time.
guys?
Best possible of all times. You're talking Brian Trottier and all of your other gay Icelanders.
Alexei Yashin.
Yeah.
Ooh,
All right.
there you go.
Let's go. This date and Steve. Would he be, or is he an Ottawa Senator?
Yeah, that's a good question. I'm not sure.
More games
All right, let's go.
Mm.
You fucking bitch.
Did you? That
Spilled
was
my
great.
coffee. You fucking
Oh,
bitch.
All right. Let's go to this date and Steve's stomach. This one is from the year of our Lord 2013. Please go to February 30th. I'm kidding. February 23rd of 2013.
February 23rd, 2013 was a Saturday.
A weekender.
There was no breakfast. Lunch was a Burger King double cheeseburger with half of a regular Coca-Cola fountain drink. That drink was split with Tina as we were driving down to Atlantic City to attend a concert.
When you split a drink with a chick, I mean, you're getting like 10%. She's getting 90%. Let's face it.
No, she doesn't drink a lot. No, she doesn't drink a lot when she eats. It's probably 60-40 me.
Okay. Okay.
Did a little gambling at the Borgata. We ate dinner at a buffet. I had some fried chicken, mashed potatoes, prime rib,
Shocking.
steak, and a soda. And then we enjoyed Matchbox 20 at the Borgata. Tom, why did you pick Saturday, February 23rd in the year 2013?
So we are sticking with the crazy sport theme still. And this one's hot. Yeah.
This is Sepak Bola Api, or the fireball game. It's played in Indonesia and is one of the ways that the people of this country welcome the month of Ramadan. Transworld Sports head off to find out more about this unique game, and we strongly advise that the uninitiated don't try this at home.
How long is the video?
Jesus Christ! Yeah.
Can I just say I am shocked that Fireball soccer has not made a bigger impact since 2013 in North America. Just want to go on record as saying that.
I suck.
Indonesia is the world's largest archipelago. It's comprised of some 7.
You can't do that. You got to bring the Indonesia fireball back.
Look, they're bowing.
Established around 350 years ago, Pondok Pesantren is the
Oh,
oldest
no,
Muslim
all right,
boarding
let's
school
go.
in Indonesia.
Fast forward.
It's 300. This is a very old
It
game.
was here that we witnessed the pupils preparing for their annual game of Sepak Bola Api. The games that have been played here.
Oh, they twirled batons too.
Oh my God, they blew that guy.
Follows the
I think
regular
Great
laws
White
of
played
soccer,
here.
with the referee controlling play. Heading, chesting, throw-ins, and tackles are all allowed.
Is there any handball?
On this occasion, the game is watched by over 10,000 spectators. Once again, it passes without incident, and there are no reports of any visits to the local burns unit. When the match ends in a draw, the outcome is decided by penalties.
There's people standing in the net.
The participants. Oh, the humanity.
The winning team celebrates their victory as the curtain falls for another year on this truly incredible Indonesian game.
And the
So-
losing team gets beheaded.
So it's soccer, but they just put.
So it
Fire.
really sucks for nobody but the goalie.
Truly
It
unique.
he's the only one it sucks for.
Well, apparently the spectators too, because they have fucking all sorts of fired on.
So there were 10,000 people there. There were no stands. They were just all standing.
Yeah,
around.
they're just
Yeah, really.
Just all standing on the
wet
field.
line.
Looked like the field was
25
like
people.
20 feet by 20 feet, maybe.
Oh God.
That's fucking terrible.
Yeah.
That's a stinker.
And
I think that should conclude the sports.
I mean,
Thank you.
like,
There you go.
like right under boob on the right. I mean, that's just a home run. It's just a home run in my book. Wow. I mean,
Well, I think we've established
One-
she's ugly.
no,
She's fudgy.
not even remotely close. She's fudgy. She is fudgy. Good Lord. All right. That's going to do it for us this week. We'll see you next week. All that stuff. I'll be in my home state. Won't be home, but at least I'll be in my home state. We'll see you next Monday evening. Same bat time, same bat channel. Thanks for following us on YouTube, Twitter, Twix, whatever the fuck it is, and all the other shits on social media. Billy, go ahead and say something, buddy.
Lord Stanley, bring me the brandy.
Aw.
There you go.
For you, Mike.
My friends and rivals. Flyers fuck, flyers fuck, flyers fuck off.
Wait. We got to give your buddy some props here, even though it's fucking an hour and 15 in. But I did receive another one of those canned Zambonis. I can't show it to you, obviously, because I'm not home, but it was a Yoo-hoo can Zamboni, and it was spectacular. So, Bill, you want to give your buddy a plug?
Nice job, Don Wolf. We'll plug him on our socials.
Don Wolf, thank you very, very much. Much appreciated. Now we're gonna leave you.
My friends and rivals. Flyers fuck, flyers fuck.